Hello, everyone. Good to see so many faces on the screen. So today we'll do the final session of the long run topic of death. So it'll be closing out that topic, and then next week we'll start the hell realms, um, or the realms of woe. Woe. So that's a bit where we are on the path to enlightenment. So we just begin by bringing ourselves into the session, physically and mentally. And I guess what we're trying to do is to first sharpen our concentration. And then when we have that concentration, then we can actually contemplate these topics. And if we're going to concentrate, we need to first reduce our distractions. So our physical distractions and our mental distractions. So we just become aware of our body sitting here. Become aware of its presence. We become aware of the body's sensations. So maybe you're warm or you're cold or you have tension or pain. And through this awareness, we just try to relax into it. So if we have that tension or pain, we try to relax the tension or the pain in the knee or the back or the neck. And just find that comfortable position that we can hold for this 30-minute session. We begin to um, find the awareness of the breath. Just watching the inhale and the exhale, calming our mind. And then we bring to mind our motivation for the session. Why are we here? What do we want to achieve? Why are we thinking about death? Why are we meditating? So I'm sure we all have different reasons. And I was just thinking this morning about harmony and peace. So maybe we can set that as our motivation, that through this practice, through these contemplations and the meditation, that we develop harmony in ourselves, in our hearts, and we develop this peace. Because harmony and peace, it starts with me. It's not out there. So if I can be peaceful and harmonious, then I can emit this peace and harmony to everyone around me. To all the animals around me, all my friends, my family, my colleagues, just to make this world a little sweeter. So last week we were looking at all of the causes that lead to death, and there's so many of them. And we're looking at uh, the weakness of the body, how fragile it is, so that so many things can lead to the death of this body in this life. So the last section of death is thinking about how nothing else except the Dharma can help at the time of death. So we can die at any moment. So if we can die at any moment, then what is there any uh, value that will not be negated by our death? And then we can see that um, it makes us realize that the only thing that's going to help us at that moment is the Dharma. So if we think about our friends and our family, when death seizes me, then even if all the animals, all the sentient beings throughout the three realms of samsara, even if they have this great love for me and they wish to help me, they can't. None of them can be of the slightest use. So, uh, however much they want to save me from death, it's impossible. They can't. They can't come with me. And then what about our possessions, our material wealth? This also can't help one at the time of dying. So even if one owns all the riches of the entire country, not a single atom of this can be taken with them. Now, although one has strong attachment for all of these possessions, and the person cannot bear being without these possessions. They're completely useless at the time of death. So my friends, my relatives, they can't help me at the time of death. My possessions can't help me at the time of death. But what about my body? Even this body that I've cherished so much, it's of no use for me at the time of death. It's left behind. It's left behind while the component of the consciousness is propelled unpredictably by the force of karma. Just as a leaf of a tree is blown off by the autumn wind, it could end up anywhere, just like my consciousness. Venerable Robina likes to say, at the time of death, we exchange this body just like we're changing our clothes. So we can see when we die, our body, our possessions, our friends, and our family, they're of no use to us at all. But there is something that can help at the time of death. And that's our spiritual practice. Since at the time of death, it's only our practice of Dharma that's useful. Because all the work and the involvements of this life, it's going to completely fade away. It's not going to be useful. It's going to fade away like a dream. So in the light of death, they're quite useless. And if we think that we have these dreams of being very wealthy, or of eating or drinking very well, these objects of this dream, they can't help us. And when we wake up from that dream, our stomach is not full of that food. So it's just the same as when we die. All of our worldly activities, they're just going to fade away. So why do we put so much effort into these? Instead, we could put effort into practicing the Lamrim, this path to enlightenment, path to Buddhahood. And when we think about it like this, it's interesting because many people, or most of us, are obsessed with the idea of ordinary work and the involvement in um, worldly responsibilities. And they do have some benefits, but they wear out quickly. And these people, they keep working until the very day that they die, when they no longer have a body to work with. So these people are very confused, running in circles, chasing achievement and achieving nothing at all. And not only is such a life not meaningful and not useful at the time of death, but a great deal of physical and mental evil comes along with it. So that the longer one lives in this way, the more evil one accumulates through these negative actions. So it's truly amazing to see that this attachment completely blocks one's advancement of a spiritual path. This attachment to this life, to the wealth, the objects, the reputation. You could almost say that one is a prisoner that's bound by the ropes of greed. So we could consider a wealthy entrepreneur, right? Who owns factories, and he knows he must die, and he won't be able to take anything with him. Yet he continues to live a completely pointless life, just following his greed. We're meditating on death to actually induce the wish to practice. Then we have, of course, to accept the existence of future lives. Because anyone that we ask will agree that he or she is going to die. But how they feel about this is going to vary widely. And that's mostly because of the different ideas about future lives. So there was a Tibetan Lama, and he asked his disciples, the future lives are much longer than this one. Do you have any provisions for this journey? They're much harsher. Do you have a suitable companion? So the provisions and companion we need in our Dharma practice is the Dharma. Because a whole mountain of gold can't help us in future lives. But the imprint of just one mantra, this can help us. So it's with this in mind that it's best if we can devote our daily life completely to the Dharma. And if we still have many other tasks and we can't do this, then we must strive to increase the influence of Dharma in our life. Step by step, day by day, a little more Dharma in our life. Increasing our wisdom, and instilling more compassion in our hearts. And we dedicate the merit that we created during this meditation session. And we can think that we can dedicate for all of those animals that are trying to survive in the dead of winter, searching for food, shelter, warmth. May they find it. May they not suffer. And when the time comes and their death arises, that they are reborn in a more fortunate body. And we dedicate to all of our teachers. May they have long lives and continue to teach the Dharma and help us to realize enlightenment, become free of the suffering of the of all the suffering realms. Thank you very much.